Well, thanks very much, Channing. Thank you all. I want to recognize not only Channing, but I know Nori Duncan and Polly Walker and the church for their great help and support today. And we're joined by Art Handy, who's a great leader in our General Assembly. Where are you?
Lurking back there.
He's a Cranstonian, so I got a shout out to my buddy from the neighborhood. Also, Nicole Pollock is here from DEM, and our DEM does a very good job. And Janet Coy is superbly gifted administrator, so we're lucky in that respect. But particularly let me recognize my colleagues in the White House and Congressman Cicilline. Sheldon Whitehouse is the most influential and the most informed leader on climate change in the United States Senate and probably in all of Washington. So go ahead. It's someone who has understood this issue and spent time, effort, energy, and is mobilizing us all to do what we should do. And thank you. David has just been extraordinary in so many ranges of issues. Internationally, with Environmental Affairs on the Foreign Relations Committee, locally here, it helps a lot to have someone who's actually run a major city in the country to recognize some of the challenges and issues, and David does that so well. Let me mention a couple of brief points. First, some good news. Channing mentioned, and I chair the Interior and Appropriations Committee, which includes the EPA. So most of my effort is spent avoiding nasty bills that would eliminate any jurisdiction the EPA has. They have, I think Mitch McConnell has proposed a bill that would, before the rule becomes final, strike out the rule on transmission of gases, the Midwest, the Supreme Court decision. There are about 100 of those every year we have to deal with. And so far, this is based upon my West Point training of avoiding ambushes. We have been able to stop that. So, you know how far we've come in Washington. One of my first talking points is, it could have been worse without me. And that's true. But some good things. We managed to secure $2 million in funding for the Southern New England Estuary Program. And just a day or two ago, the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program and the Buzzard Bay Estuary Program announced the first round of grants. The concentration is going to be on preventing sort of nutrient pollution of the bays. By June 6th, they're going to ask for proposals, a pre-proposal, a couple of pages, and we're going to work with local groups, et cetera. But this represents a specific, concentrated, with real money focus on, federal efforts to further clean up Narragansett Bay, Buzzards Bay, and the Long Island Sound area. So that is going to be good. We use different techniques, stormwater management, all sorts of different techniques. Related to that is another area that I have jurisdiction of and money for, and that is the state revolving fund for clean water. Absolutely critical. We provide resources to the local clean water authority. They leverage the resources with both state funds and with the lending and collecting on the loans. That allows us to literally build new plumbing, build new wastewater, and we're trying to do it in a way that recognizes green technologies. We had the new Gina McCarthy, the new EPA director up here down in Providence with David and Sheldon and I, touting the way that green technologies are a much more effective way to prevent pollution. And we're doing that. And every year I have a big fight. I must say the administration doesn't put enough money in, and we increase the money. So we're going to keep doing that going forward. There's another aspect, and this touches on Sheldon's leadership for climate change, but the biggest issue we face when we sit down and start doing the budget for Interior particularly, and it wasn't the case 5 years ago, is paying for forest fires. And guess what? That's a direct result of climate change. Read the papers today. There are huge fires already in California. The fire season is 75 days longer in California. Why? Weather, droughts, heat, It's 100 degrees in San Diego today with winds and no rain for the last several months. It is just a perfect condition. We have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars just to fight these fires. You can't just say, no, let it burn out, call me later. You've got to do it. But that takes away a huge amounts of money which we could do for smart suppression, smart forest management, and other programs like sewer pipes and everything else. So that's something that we have to be very keen about going forward. And then finally, just the final point I want to make. We have related to the environment, the issue of energy. We had fortunate enough to have Ernie Moniz up here, who's the new Secretary of Energy. And he grew up in Fall River, Massachusetts, so he kind of gets it. He's a brilliant scientist at MIT. We are paying significantly higher energy costs here in the Northeast than any place else. It hurts our job development. It hurts a lot of things. So we have to think creatively about new ways to bring energy in. But we also have to think about demand reductions. The smartest thing we can do to sort of make us better in terms of energy, weatherize homes, be more active in putting in appliances that are less energy consuming, make this big effort around demand reduction. And I think it'll pay dividends. And just a final little footnote, because the last several weeks we've all been stressing over what do we do about Crimea and Ukraine. And a lot of my colleagues are running up and saying, well, let's just ship all of our natural gas over to, by the way, that of course raises the price of our natural gas, which we get from overseas. We don't get it from the Midwest and all these new developments. You know what we really should be thinking? First of all, they don't have a port to receive it, so it would be sort of irrelevant. But what would not be irrelevant is saying, well, why don't we go ahead and invest in their energy efficiency? Take out those old Russian boilers that are terribly inefficient, put in American high-efficiency boilers that we build here in the United States. American workers get paid to build them, and we put them in there, and we help them get them in there. That's a lot smarter strategy than, let's sell all our LNG across the globe. But we have a host of issues. I'm going to stop right there and turn it over to Channing to turn it over to my colleagues.
Great. Well, thank you, Senator.